Welcome, everybody. We are here for the Final Four. Our original bracket of 64 teams has been whittled down. We have got our region winners. We have got all 4 teams ready to go in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. We missed our first 4 episodes of this where we went over each region. Let's go ahead and introduce our Final Four. Up first is the 3 seed out of the Midwest region representing the SEC. It is the Tennessee Volunteers, led of course by young stud quarterback Nico Dylan Sampson at running back. Squirrel White at wide receiver was probably their MVP throughout that first region. On the offensive side, the real reason Tennessee was able to make it this far has been the defense. Specifically, their defensive line has been wreaking havoc on opposing offenses, and not just James Pierce Jr. It has been a fantastic team effort by Tennessee. Let's take a look at some of the highlights and see how they got here to San Antonio. 4th and 2, 3 straight runs by the quarterback, 4 straight runs by the quarterback. Tennessee shuts them down on 4th down. That should be game here. Tennessee, yeah, and a 15-yard penalty. Tennessee will be moving on. Squirrel White, I might have to check his stats after that. And go for 2, why not? Make it a 21-point game to Squirrel White. And an interception. Whew. Sorry, UCF. And Oklahoma just can't get anything going, especially when you're pinned at the 1. And then, what a fitting way for them to go out. 4th and 10 at your own 1. It's still a 12-point game. You still have a shot. You throw the ball away. Get out of here, Oklahoma. Every play that drive is Maddox Madsen doing something bad, and Tennessee runs in a touchdown. Tennessee has by far been our most impressive team so far. They've just ended up steamrolling everybody. That's the only shot Alabama's got left at this point. From their own 26, 3 seconds remaining, game on the line, trip to the Final Four on the line. Tennessee, again, no pressure at all. None whatsoever. Milrow chucks it as far as he can from his own 20. Interception. The ball hung up in the air from his own 20 to the other 15. Impressive throw, but not enough. The Tennessee Volunteers are moving on. Why do they look so disappointed? Maybe they just can't believe it. They're just in total shock, total disbelief. The Tennessee is moving on to the Final Four, but waiting for them is the 2 seed from the South Regional. I had to think about that for a second. Representing the Big Ten, it is the Penn State Nittany Lions, a team also anchored by an incredible defense. Less about getting pressures, more about forcing turnovers, at least as we saw as they steamrolled their way. Well, not really steamrolled, they had some close games, but as they got through the South Regional, Drew Aller able to just chuck up some deep ones to Harrison Wallace, I want to say his name is, Tyler Warren, Nicholas Singleton. Obviously a star-studded offense, a fantastic defense. Very interesting matchup here. But first, let's just take a look at how Penn State got to the Alamo Dome. It's not over yet. It's certainly getting there. A first down here would pretty much do it. That'll definitely do it. They got the first down, then Singleton, watch this. Check this out. I got you, bud. 40-yard touchdown for the Penn State Nittany Lions. They will be moving on. Penn State with the ball at Louisville's 20-yard line, 3rd and 5, minute and a half to go. Singleton was just setting them up. Allen comes in and cleans them up in the 4th quarter. That drive was all Allen, all rushes, except one Harrison Wallace catch because he's just the best in the world, apparently. Allen should be the nail in the coffin here, I would have to imagine, for the Louisville Cardinals. Put up an incredible fight. Well, it comes down to an onside kick. We still, in slow mode, we saw that one team recover an onside kick. In this, we've never seen an actual onside kick recovery. Penn State gets it. Drew Aller knees it out. SMU at their own 11. Out of timeouts. And sacked again by Jay Thomas. Well, 83-yard touchdown. Maybe a little bit of life. And they get the 2-point conversion. Comes down to the onside kick. Penn State, no surprise, recovers the onside kick. Will take the knee. Penn State moves into the lead 8. Now pass one away. 3rd and 6, though. Huge play here. 4th and inches. They didn't give it to them. They went for it and got it. Penn State goes for it on 4th down and gets it. Now they got a 2nd and goal at the 7. Minute and a half left. Singleton in for the touchdown. Minute 20 to go. Penn State takes the 7-point lead. Okay, they finally used a timeout. 3rd and 5. 4th and 5 now. 3 seconds left. Time runs out. Time runs out on the Trojans and their Cinderella story. Ding! The clock has hit midnight on USC. Penn State will be our final representative in the Final Four. Yeah, stylistically, a very interesting matchup here. Two very similar teams, except obviously Tennessee is going to run the veer and shoot. Penn State's a little more like pro style, but both relied on a lot of big plays. Tennessee with Squirrel White, Penn State with Harrison Wallace, and their defense really being game changers. So, that's going to be a tough one to call. We'll put predictions in here at the end, but that's going to be a tough one. Anyway, on the other side of the bracket, waiting for the winner of Tennessee Penn State is going to be the winner of the 5 seed from the East region, the Miami Hurricanes. Similar to what we saw with Tennessee and Penn State, Miami's defense played phenomenally throughout their entire region. The defensive line, I think, was probably the best. I would guess Miami had the most sacks throughout their first 4 games to get here. It seemed like they had 3 or 4 a game, forcing turnovers, and when you pair a defense like that with an offense that has Cam Ward, Xavier Restrepo, Martinez, the big bulldozer running back, it's no surprise Miami was able to make their way down here to Texas. But let's take a look at their highlights. Down to the 2-minute warning, down by 11. Tough spot for the Hokies here. Not impossible. That makes it even harder though. I've lost count on how many sacks that is at this point. That's 5 or 6 by the Miami defense. So hard to come back from. Then they check it down on 4th and 10. Virginia Tech go. I mean, Miami, I feel like could be a wagon in this thing. I think with this offense, man, I think they're going to be really, really tough. They take out Virginia Tech. Those are game changers. Those are absolute game changers in these. And now the Iowa State offensive line just panicking, just holding, getting penalties. They don't know what to do. Another good punt return sets up Miami at Iowa State's 38. And Damian Martinez, he is the hammer. Iowa State is the nail. 2nd and goal at the 1. Martinez. Dunk, dunk, dunk. That's the nail in the coffin, you have to think, for the Iowa State Cyclones. 3rd and 3. Notre Dame, where do you go here if you're Notre Dame? Great House, probably. Nobody can guard Great House. That's where I'd be looking. He's got time. No, he does not have time. Riley Leonard did have time. He tried to make a play with his feet, tried to roll out there. Bain was waiting for him. Apparently cracked his ribs there, too. Oh, gosh, Sebastian, you are terrifying looking. It's now 4th and 15 for Notre Dame. 47-yard field goal to extend, to go to double overtime, or Miami's going to the lead 8. Double overtime or lead 8? Let's see. Kicks up. We can never tell from this angle. No good. Kick is no good. Kick is no good. 41 yards potentially between Miami and the Final Four. Let's see what Cam Ward's got here. Lobs one up. That's good coverage. That's caught. It's caught. How was that caught? Oh my gosh. And then why did Miami take a timeout? What? I mean, that was great coverage. How was that a catch? I don't know. They tried to go Damian Martinez. Indiana's going to let a little bit of clock run here. Oh, 2nd and goal now at the 6. They're not in yet. We've seen a lot of turnovers down in this area. Not this time, though. Safety valve Restrepo right over the middle. He fights his way in for the touchdown. But waiting in the path of the Hurricane, can they weather the storm? The 2 seed from the West region, the highest overall team in college football 25, the Georgia Bulldogs. Cincinnati, 3rd and goal from the 1, 11 seconds left, 1 yard to force overtime. How do you get 1 yard against the Georgia defense? Like that. Just like that. Cincinnati. We're going back to overtime. Are we really going back to overtime? I feel like we've had so many overtimes. Oh my goodness, Cincinnati. If they pull this upset off, oh my goodness, I don't know. It'd be 3 in a row, pretty big upsets. I guess Iowa over LSU. They're going for it. They're going for 2. I love it, Cincinnati. I absolutely love it. They're going for 2. It's a jet. I hate the play call. So they have to score so fast and then get multiple onside kicks, but they keep getting sacked. He sacked McNamara so hard he hurt himself. That's how hard he just hit Cade McNamara. So hard he just took himself out of the game. Yep, turnover. That is going to do it. I am going to advance Georgia on my bracket over here. They got to score. They have to not use any timeouts and score in like 30 seconds. Brady Cook running is not going to be the key to getting that done. Obviously have to go for it here, 4th down. That'll do her. Georgia is headed to the Elite 8. Even getting 3rd and inches probably sets them up for a field goal attempt if they would want one. No, Sanders is number 3, or number 5. I don't remember who number 3 is. Sellers is dropping back to pass and gets sacked. Now you can't kick a field goal. Now you got to go for this. 59-yard field goal? You better not try it, South Carolina. You got to go for this. You just can't get sacked there if you're Sellers. The one thing you can't do is get sacked. Oh, that is brutal. So a 4th and 7 now. I mean, we still don't know what they're doing. They're killing a lot of time. They are going for a 59-yard field goal. They're going for a 59-yard field goal to try to force overtime. No good. If you just look at ratings, they are the best team. But they were 1 play away from losing to 15 seed Cincinnati. They had a lot of very close games. Just because they're the highest rated doesn't mean they're going to steamroll their way through this Final Four. We saw 95 overall. Alabama lost to Tennessee. We've seen some big upsets through here. So just because they're 96 overall, I don't think that's going to mean they're just going to walk their way to a national championship. Speaking of national championships, I actually have one more graphic I got to put up here. Kabow. I spent the time to make it. You guys are going to see it, okay? But yes, this is our Final Four taking place in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, which, fun fact, I've actually been to one time for the Royal Rumble in like 2016. Something like that. Whatever year Randy Orton won and John Cena faced AJ Styles and Chris Jericho was in a shark cage for Kevin Owens against Roman Reigns. Whatever year that was, I was in the Alamo Dome for that. Prediction time. Get your predictions in right now. So it's Tennessee against Penn State, and then it's Miami against Georgia. Winners face each other. Winner, national champion. I am gonna go that first matchup. We'll start with Tennessee Penn State. Very, like I said, very similar teams. It's what defensive line has the advantage. I'm gonna go Tennessee. I think Nico. I like his running ability better than Drew Aller. Dylan Sampson against Nick. Man, they are so even. Oh, they are so even. I think because what we saw from Tennessee was Squirrel White was a huge difference maker for the offense. And Penn State has a lot of good guys, but I don't think they had anybody step up quite like Squirrel White did. And I think Tennessee's defensive line is going to give them a slight advantage over Penn State. So I'm going to take Tennessee to get to the finals. Then I'm going to take Miami just because I'm going to go for Miami. Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback in this game, will be Miami's quarterback next year in next year's game. But I would just prefer to see Miami in the finals. So I'm going to go with Miami. And I really do think they have a good chance of winning that with Cam Ward, Xavier Restrepo, Martinez. All the reasons we went over, why they even made the Final Four, I think is going to give them a chance to beat Georgia. So I'm going to go Tennessee against Miami. Tennessee. Tennessee is going to be our national champions. Locking it in. That's my prediction. Let me know your guys' guess down here in the comments. All that aside, I think we are ready. Let's get to the Final Four action in the Alamo Dome. And just like we did throughout the regionals, the higher seed is going to be the home team. 2 seed Penn State, 3 seed Tennessee. Penn State will be the home team. I don't know if that's really going to matter all that much. I think we are going to... So this is all going to be the same. I think we are going to do differently compared to the regionals. I'm going to try to avoid slow mode because I think that just messes with the clock. Like we saw with, I think it was Texas Tech. They were, no matter what, waiting for 25 seconds in the play clock when we were in slow mode, and then they just didn't get a field goal off. I don't know if that would have been the same if we stayed in regular, but I'm just not going to risk it. I don't want anything like that to happen here in the Final Four. We are going to the Alamo Bowl, the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas, our first national semifinal game, Tennessee, Penn State. Let's go. It will be Tennessee starting with the football here. Let's see if Nico Sampson, Squirrel White, the veer and shoot offense. Let's see if they are able to find much success against this Penn State defense. Not a good start for Nico, has to throw away his first pass. Not a good start for Dylan Sampson, a 0-yard rush. Squirrel White, I'm telling you, I think Squirrel White is going to be the difference for Tennessee in this game. Picks up the huge 3rd and 10 to avoid the game opening 3 and out. Now a 3rd and 11. Can we find Squirrel White again? Finds Brazil. Another 3rd down conversion by Nico. Finds McCoy, spreading the love around here, already down to Penn State's 30-yard line. And just another note about Squirrel White. That's right, Jay Thomas. He was a stud for Penn State too. Not able to pick up the 3rd and 9, settling for a field goal. Kick up, kick good. Opening drive field goal for the Tennessee Volunteers. You like getting on the board, but I think those opening drive field goals have kind of been death sentences, if I remember right. I think every team that opened with a field goal, their win percentage is awful, awful low. So Penn State picks up the 3rd and 1 down to Tennessee's 21-yard line already. Singleton gashing Tennessee's defense here. 3rd and 1 at the 13. Is this going to be Singleton again? It is, but they stop on 4th and inches. Do they go for it or take their 3? They go for it. And they not only get it, Drew Aller keeps it and runs it for a 12-yard touchdown. Penn State ends the first quarter with a 7-3 lead. Wow. I wasn't too surprised to see them go for it. I was surprised to see, oh my goodness, okay. Dylan Sampson is having himself, both these running backs are off to incredible starts. Rips a gigantic run, got them down to the Penn State 10, but then a 10-yard penalty backs them up. 3rd and goal from the 19. Can Nico get a miracle here? No, he tries to match Drew Aller, tries to take it himself, can't do it, comes up short. Tennessee settles for another field goal. 2 scoring drives for the Volunteers, 2 field goals. So you're losing by 1 despite having 2 scoring drives. You even had a 1st and goal on that one. Let's see if the defense can answer back here. No, Harrison Wallace. He's been the big play guy for Penn State. Honestly, compared to what we saw in the regional, if you can keep Harrison Wallace from scoring a 60-yard touchdown, you're doing something right. But Drew Aller picking up, wow. And there's James Spears Jr. That's exactly what Tennessee needed. Drew Aller and this Penn State offense, though, has been picking apart Tennessee. Huge. Absolutely had to hold them to a field goal there. James Spears Jr. gets in there for the sack. Backs Penn State up. Settles them for a field goal. 4-point lead now for the Nittany Lions. Let's see. Tennessee does have time here before halftime. Takes him 2 plays. Finds Chris Brazil twice. Bang, bang. Now Penn State has time. They got 46 seconds and all 3 timeouts with an offense that has been moving the ball very, very easily here so far. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see a field goal attempt here before half. Wow, a 1-yard rush. 3rd and 9, already down to 1 timeout left, and a pass thrown away. Tennessee's defense stands up huge before halftime. They're going to keep a 3-point lead here, looks like. Yes, we take it to half. It will be Penn State ball. Back to what I was originally saying before the chaos kind of started there. Squirrel White. So he is the punt returner for Tennessee. We haven't really seen, I think Penn State punted once there in the first half. But that can be a huge difference maker, having a punt returner like that. We saw that with Missouri in Georgia's regional, the West. They won a game on a punt return. Tennessee has them on a 3rd and short. The defense commits a penalty, hands them the first down, and Penn State looks to be making them pay for it. Down to Tennessee's 25. Singleton, though, tough couple plays there for Singleton. Lost yards, dropped a pass thrown away. Penn State's going to have to settle for a field goal. Kick up, kick good, and we have a tie game with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Both these defenses have been a little bit bend but don't break. You know, Tennessee got a few big plays there to score before halftime to get their only touchdown on the board. Other than that, they've had some good sustained drives, but then once they get into scoring range, the Penn State defense has stiffened up, and then a 3rd and 4, they go for it with Dylan Sampson, gets stuffed. They have to punt it back. Penn State ball. Now Singleton rips a 36-yard rush into Tennessee territory, but then James Pierce Jr. gets in there again. The Tennessee defensive line gets Penn State on a 3rd and 20. Harrison Wallace the big play merchant for Penn State comes through on the 3rd and 20. Aller finds another good gain there. Then Allen runs in the touchdown for the Nittany Lions, giving them the lead. Less than 4 minutes to go. Our first semifinal is living up to the hype. Back and forth battle. Can Tennessee punch back? A 3rd and 10. Brazel been the MVP for Tennessee here so far today. He has been their big play guy. He had the big touchdown before half. Picks up another 3rd down. 2 gigantic 3rd downs. The game tying drive. 2 minutes and 38 seconds left. Nico finds Dylan Sampson. Ties us up at 20. But that whole drive made possible by Brazel. The early 3rd down. The 3rd down in Penn State territory. 2 gigantic conversions. But then Tyler Warren. I think that's the first time his name has popped up here today on the 30-yard completion. Putting Penn State in field goal range. Negative 2-yard rush, so 3rd and 8. Tennessee needs a stop here, and they do get one. Penn State's going to kick the field goal. It is a 3-point lead for the Nittany Lions. 1.5 minutes to go. I am not going to go into slow-mo. Just like I said, the weird clock stuff we saw, I just don't want to mess up their chances at all. We're going to stay in the mode we've been doing. It's going to come down to this, though. A 4th and 7 for Tennessee. A pass dropped by McCoy. Just like that. They had their chances. They were right in there. They had one more drive. Could Nico put one more miracle drive together? They could not. A pass dropped. Drew Aller knees it out. The Penn State Nittany Lions knock off Tennessee and are headed to the national championship game. Let's get to our next semifinal matchup and see who they will be going up against. The 96 overall Georgia Bulldogs, the 90 overall Miami Hurricanes, number 2 against number 5 in this game. I mean, yeah, Cam Ward's going to have to play pretty flawless, and we got to get some mistakes from Carson Beck for Miami to make this title game. See who is going to go on and take on Penn State. Let's see. Georgia will be getting the ball first in our second semifinal matchup. Let's see if that Miami defensive line can keep doing what they were doing in those first few rounds. That is going to give them certainly a good shot at beating Georgia. Or an early 3rd and 6. Can Miami's defense? Miami gets the 3 and out on the first drive of the game. Forced Carson Beck to throw one away and then try to scramble. That seems like a good sign for Miami's defensive line. Let's see if Miami's offense can figure anything out against the Georgia defense. Damian Martinez, the big bulldozer. It's just 4 yards in a cloud of dust. If you can do that every single play, that's first downs. 3rd and 6. See, but they didn't do it every single play. They took one play off. Cam Ward threw it away, so they come up short. Have to punt it back to Georgia. Georgia takes over. Trevor Etienne on his first carry of the day hurts himself. It's 3rd and 10, but then Oscar Delp picks up the big first down for the Georgia Bulldogs into Miami territory here. 1:13 left in the first. Oscar Delp again. Somebody maybe cover the big white boy tight end on Georgia. Might be an idea. Bulldogs, another injury on their offense, though. Wide receiver. 1st and goal at the 3, though. Frazier punches in the touchdown. Comes in for Etienne. Takes care of business. Touchdown Bulldogs, 7-0. Cam Ward again having to throw a ball away. Finally gets a completion. 3rd and inches. B. Martinez. We see that so much that drives me insane. Miami's punter, I'm in love with that man. He is so good. So many of these teams get in 3rd and inches. Cover the big white tight end, boys. They get in those 3rd and inches and they try to pass the ball. Makes no sense. There's Ruben Bain Jr., the Miami defensive line. 3rd and 16. Force another punt by Georgia. Cam Ward, I don't know, maybe the nerves are getting to him. You know, it's a big stage. Let's see if he can settle in, figure something out, find out how we can move this ball against Georgia. Another pass thrown away on 3rd and 12. Then Ward tries to run himself, comes up short. Miami has to settle for the field goal. When you start in such a good field position, you hate having to settle for a field goal in that spot. But at least they are on the board. Maybe that can get them some momentum here going forward. Because so far their defense has been... You can't expect any more from Miami's defense than what they've given you here so far. And then Georgia's eventually going to get big plays. They're going to get points on the board. That's just going to happen. But if we can hold them to a field goal here, 3rd and 10... Okay, 4th and 5, so Georgia is going to kick the field goal. It is up. It is good. 7-point game, minute left before halftime. With 2 timeouts, that should be plenty of time for Cam Ward to hopefully put a little something together here. They are at midfield here. He's trying to, I don't know if it's just the pressure. It must be the pressure. Because we're seeing Cam Ward having to run. We're seeing him throwing the ball away. 4th and 2. Wow, they try a 60-yard field goal and it is no good. Let's see, can Georgia take advantage? No, they had pretty good field position there. I thought Chris Johnson Jr., our first ever our first March Madness kick return touchdown. Of course it's Chris Johnson Jr., the 98 speed halfback for Miami, who is a total freak. Takes the opening kickoff of the second halfback for a score. Then we get a sack by the Miami defense. Then a fumble by Georgia. Miami's got it 3rd and goal at the 4. Cam Ward to Ray Joseph for the touchdown. In a minute and 13 seconds. This went from Miami down by 7 to Miami up by 7. What a swing in this Final Four game. Unbelievable. Cover the big white tight end. Just cover the big white tight end. Just an idea I'm throwing out there for the Miami defense. Cover the big white tight end. Just put somebody on him. Put 3 guys on him. And then love it. What an answer back by Georgia. What a crazy second half this has been already. Tie game, 17-17. Still haven't seen anything from Miami's offense to give me too much confidence in them to be able to put a drive together here. I'd love to see it. I would 100% love to see it, but okay, there we go. There we go. Big first down. Give it to Punishment Martinez. Love to see that. Down to Georgia's 24. In field goal range already, but with Georgia's offense, another injury. My goodness. But with how Georgia's offense has been able to move this ball, we do not want to be settling for field goals, and Miami doesn't. Another Georgia injury. Fletcher takes it for the Miami touchdown. 7-point lead going into the 4th quarter. But yeah, we've just seen Georgia's offense get these big chunk plays time and time again. Or they go 3 and out. The pressure from the Miami front, and then a big punt return. They've got it in field goal range already. Just don't turn this ball over if you're Miami. Take your time. 3rd and 2. Pass thrown away. So they are going to be 40-yard kick is up. It is good. It is a 2-score lead for the Miami Hurricanes. 3.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter to go to the national championship game. That fumble by Georgia is looming awful large right now. Handed Miami 7 points there. See, because their offense, when Beck is rolling, this Georgia offense has had their way with Miami defense, but a couple passes knocked away now. A 3rd and 10, a big play. They're going to have, are they going to go here or kick? They go in the Miami defensive line. The underdogs, the unheard of heroes of this entire tournament is the Miami defensive line. Another game with 3 or 4 sacks, including on 4th down to end the game, to put away the Georgia Bulldogs. It is going to be the Miami Hurricanes and the Penn State Nittany Lions going for the national championship. Wow. I'm telling you, that Miami defensive line, I had no idea they were any good. Throughout this entire tournament, they have dominated. They haven't just been good. They have been dominant. Even against the Georgia Bulldogs. It was 10-3 at halftime. Miami returns the opening kick of the 3rd for a touchdown. Right? So it's 10-10. Georgia gets the ball. Sacked. Fumbled. 2 separate plays. Miami gets it at the 5. Punches in a touchdown. 17-10. Georgia answers back immediately, 17-17. Then it's just all Miami. The Hurricanes sweep away the Bulldogs. Oh, that's a sad visual. Why'd I say that? Anyway, Miami into the national championship game against Penn State. And it all comes down to this. 92 overall Penn State, 90 overall Miami, number 3 against number 5 for the crown, for the national championship. Man, Miami's been so dang impressive throughout this whole thing. I can't pick against them now. I originally had Tennessee. That Tennessee-Penn State, that one could have gone either way. Even Miami-Georgia, despite Miami winning by 17, that game could have gone either way. That whole second half was just wild. Their defensive line has been so dang impressive. I don't know who to take in this one. But That's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. We got one game left. Should I just do this as the national championship? I guess why not, right? Why not? We'll do this one as the national championship. Yes, it's not in San Antonio, but whatever. This is our national championship. Penn State, Miami. I'm glad. Nothing against Georgia, like, personally. But I am glad they lost, because I didn't just want, like, the highest overall team to win this whole thing. That wouldn't have been very exciting. So, I was happy when, you know, Ohio State lost. I was happy when Alabama lost. I didn't want any of those, like, clearly top teams to win this whole thing. And here we are. Here we are, boys. Let's get to it. One game left. Miami will be getting the ball first. Who is going to be our true national champion? Sorry, Ohio State, your reign was short-lived, but that's what you get for winning a Mickey Mouse tournament like you did. Sorry, should have been a full 64-team tournament. Okay, whoa. It's exactly what I was saying at the very beginning. Penn State, their defense hasn't been so much about getting sacks as it is getting those turnovers, and they get an early one, but then Miami's defense answers back. Penn State gets it first and goal at the 9 thanks to that turnover, which they have definitely forced the most turnovers of all the teams in this whole tournament. But then Miami's defense holds the door, gets a sack. No surprise they get a sack there. No surprise at all. That's just what they do. This whole Miami defensive front has been unbelievable. And another turnover. Abdul Carter recovers the fumble. Penn State gets the ball back again in Miami territory. And a big run by Allen. Then there's Harrison Wallace. Penn State's defense, man. They force those turnovers. They've got 2 turnovers here in the first quarter. One they had to settle for a field goal. The one they started inside the 10. They got a field goal on. Then they get it at, the 40? Right down for the touchdown. 10-0 Penn State. But with Miami's offense, we know they're going to get points. We know they can answer back. And with their defense and the pressure they can generate, 10 points is nothing. 10 points is absolutely nothing for Miami. But we do got to answer sooner rather than later. 4th and 3. I wonder if they go for it here. They go for the kick, and it is no good. They have a lot of faith in that field goal kicker. They tried that 60-yarder against Georgia in the last one. Didn't go well. They tried the 55-yarder there. Also didn't go well. But the defense does force the 3 and out. So Miami's getting the ball back here. 3 minutes and 3:50 left in the second quarter. Nothing but time. You can't be panicked yet here if you're a Miami fan. But you do want to see a little something here out of this offense. See multiple passes knocked away. Means you're almost a little relieved those aren't interceptions. It's Penn State's getting their hands on those balls, and there's another pass knocked away. Both these defenses, and Penn State has to hold because Miami's defensive front is so dang good. A 3rd and 14, Liam Clifford short for Penn State. Miami's defense seems to be settling in here. Well, the only points they gave up were off of 2 turnovers. So it's like, can you really blame the defense that much for that? They actually made a great stop after that first interception to hold them to that field goal. Now Miami's offense is moving here a little bit. This is another thing we have seen quite a bit on these simulations. An offense really struggles throughout the first half, but then they get a good 2-minute drive, a good 2-minute drill before halftime, and then for some reason that just clicks the team into sync here. Safety valve, Restrepo. Who else are you going to go to there? 2nd and goal at the 6. Finds Restrepo for the touchdown. Miami makes it a 3-point game here. Now, can Penn State, they have all their timeouts. Couldn't they get points here before halftime? With Drew Aller, Julian Fleming, Tyler Warren, Harrison Wallace. There's that Miami defensive front, though. Pushes him back 3 yards, but he finds Clifford down to the 35-yard line. Another gain of 6, 3 seconds left. Kick up, kick good before halftime. Penn State does extend the lead from 3 to 6. Still just one play, and Miami can take this lead back, though. 6-point lead for Penn State. Getting the ball here to start the third quarter. Kicking off our second half, and they go 3 and out. I'm telling you, Miami's defense is so good. And the punt returns. Just like that, they get the ball at midfield, down by 6. Ooh, but they get pushed backwards. A 3rd and 11 early pass knocked away by Cam Miller. Miami also goes 3 and out. That punter has got too big of a leg. Knocks it into the end zone. Penn State takes over at their own 20. Our quick 3rd and 8, though. Can they Denmark. Good completion to Denmark. Not a name you see pop up too often for Penn State, but you do see him a bit in those clutch situations we've seen Denmark. So 3rd and 15 now though for Penn State. If they pick this one up, that could have been a backbreaker. Get them on a 3rd and 17 when you're down by 6. If they pick that up and then that drive results in points or something, you're feeling pretty down in the dumps. But they do get the stop. 3rd and 2. Can Miami get something going on this Penn State defense? They cannot. Punishment Martinez has to settle for a 3-yard loss, and they punt it back to Penn State, who's taking over in Miami territory, I believe for the 3rd time this game. First 2 off of turnovers. They scored both of those times. It looks like they're probably going to score here again, already at Miami's 31 as we enter the 4th quarter. They are going to have to try a field goal here. Kicks up. Kick is good. That does make it a 2-score lead now for Penn State. They're 3 field goals, the difference, 16-7. I was hoping to see Chris Johnson run another one back. I was hoping to see it. A 5-yard penalty though. Okay, now Miami's offense is moving a little bit. They had something happen there with the 5-yard penalty. Put them at midfield. Got them down now deep into Penn State's territory. 3rd and 5 at the 28-yard line. Go to the safety valve. 3rd and short, and then there's Abdul Carter. We honestly did not see Abdul Carter do a whole heck of a lot throughout Penn State's entire regional. It was that Jay Thomas character. His name we saw pop up a lot on those sacks. So to see Abdul Carter's got to be a good sign for Penn State. 4th and goal at the 3. Miami goes for it and gets shut down. Wow. I don't know about going for it there. I guess I don't hate it because you pin Penn State back so deep, but you need 2 scorers, and you're running out of time. I don't know. And Nick Singleton, man, he is just so hard to stop. Penn State, I think, could just run out the clock at this point. 3rd and 5, 1:06 to go, 2-score lead. Drew Allard does take a knee, but they do have to punt still. 34 seconds, 2-score lead for Penn State. The Nittany Lions defense is gonna be enough. They shut down way better than any other team we had seen. They shut down Miami. Holds the Hurricane offense to 7 points. They just scored 34 against Georgia. And the Penn State, congratulations. Your 2025 true college football 25 national champion, Penn State Nittany Lions. Your March Madness national champions. Not really. We might do one more tournament to determine the true best team in college football 25. But the March Madness champions, the Penn State Nittany Lions. And the difference was that defense. Like we said when we introed the teams at the beginning, forcing the turnovers. It was those 2 turnovers. One led right to a touchdown, one right to a field goal in a game that Penn State won by 9 points. That was the difference. And we didn't really see, Miami's defensive line got, 2 or 3 sacks in there. Didn't have nearly as big of an impact as we saw previously, but there it is. Penn State has done it. The 2 seed out of the South region. Let's take a look. What was their entire path here? Just out of curiosity. Wow, God, that's bright. So 2 seed Penn State, first round, 15 seed West Virginia, 7 seed Louisville, 3 seed SMU, 9 seed USC to get to the Final Four. Beat Tennessee, beat Miami. That is how you become the national champion. And yeah, that'll do it for our March Madness tournament. Please, please, please. Let me know if you guys enjoyed these or not. I know the views weren't high, but they were super long videos, so I understand people not clicking on it so much. I would like to do, before College Football 26 comes out, I want to do a massive tournament with every team in this game to really determine who the best team is. Obviously, we'd make those a little bit shorter episodes, but it would take quite a while because it'd be a 134 team tournament. But I would like to do that, so I might do it anyway. We'll see. But if you guys enjoy it, do let me know. Congratulations to Penn State. Congratulations to all of our Final Four teams. All great runs. Miami comes up just short. Like I said, just their offense wasn't able to get it going. But yep, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you next time. Until then, take it easy.